Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Spirituality with Gabriella. And if it's your first time here, welcome. I do pick a card readings on this channel, as well as videos about Reiki and meditation and energy generally. And today we are doing an exciting pick a card reading. This one is going to be about your future spouse's traits and habits. So just to be very honest with everyone, it is not easy to get things like traits and habits from tarot cards, but I will be tapping into my intuition very deeply here and asking the spirit guides and angels to help us out and give us some clues, because I know that many of you would benefit from this type of reading. So I'm going to introduce the piles that we're working with today. We have pile 1 over here with the clear quartz. We have pile 2 here with the Carnelian. Pile 3 with the black Tourmaline. And pile 4 with the Amethyst. So take all the time you need to choose your pile. It's a good idea to take a deep breath, really center yourself, and try and find the pile that speaks most to you. And then once you've done that, you can fast forward and get your timestamp below in order to get your own personal reading. And I will see you all there. Thank you so much. All right, pile 1, welcome to your reading. So if you chose the clear quartz, then this reading is for you. And the first card you got here is the 2 of Swords. Okay, so we are going to shuffle and ask about your future spouse's traits and habits, anything that wants to come through, anything your spirit guides want to share with us. I also have the Animal Spirit Guide deck here. So let's see what comes through for that. Okay. Nice, so let's get started with these. So the first thing I'm getting about your future spouse is I feel like they are very focused on the future, and they're very focused on making a lot of money or being very successful. And I think that how this manifests as a specific habit is I feel like they spend a lot of time sitting at their desk and working. What I'm getting is an energy of stillness and an energy of always looking out to the future, but it's also an energy of doing the same thing again and again and again. And so the words that are coming into my mind are working hard, not necessarily working smart. So I feel like they're spending a lot of time putting in very significant hours. And so the biggest habit I can see is just spending a lot of time at their desk. I do think most of them have a dedicated space, whether it's like an office space or just like a space that they use to sit down and do their work at. So it feels to me like a lot of them either work from home and have set this up for themselves, or they go to an office. And then a very specific message I'm getting though is that they would have more than one computer screen. It's like they have multiple monitors, or they have like one monitor and one laptop, and that's how they're doing their work. I'm getting that they're always kind of like switching between tabs, switching between windows. I'm getting a very strong energy around like finance as well as software engineering, anything that requires very careful analysis. It could be like accounting or analytics, but I'm getting that there's like a lot of numbers and a lot of details coming through here. And I feel like they're very honed in on details. And so one habit they have is to operate from a place of logic. We have the 5 of discs here, which is the 5 of Pentacles, And so many of you who know this card know that this is not the happiest energy. It's an energy of feeling a little bit lost, a little bit out in the cold, kind of like you're on your own. And so one thing I can say about your future spouse is I feel like they have so much ambition, because we have the Ace of Wands here, but I kind of feel like they have a tendency to either talk themselves down or focus on what's not going well instead of focusing on what is going well. I'm getting that energy pretty strongly because we also have the Five of Cups here. So you can see destitution and disappointment. So it doesn't mean that they are actually in a bad situation. I really don't think they are. But I think that because of things they've dealt with in the past and because of their past history, they have gotten into a mental pattern of just kind of focusing more on what's not going well than what is going well. And what I'm getting is that they can at times blow it a little bit out of proportion. So to address a habit that they have, it would be like you and them might see the same situation and then they think about it from a really negative lens, or they think about it from a lens of being very logical and very critical about everything. And you might feel like, hey, it's not actually that big of a deal. Why are you blowing it out of proportion? So this is just an honest message I'm getting. There are so many good things about this person, so I don't want you to be concerned, but I'm just getting the message that they really believe that the hours they put in are going to pay off eventually. It's good that they're such a hard worker. Like, it's very hard to meet people who work that hard, but I do think it would be beneficial for them to kind of get out of that energy all of the time and shift into an energy of more fluidity and creativity. And I feel like you can really help them with that, because what I'm getting is right now they're doing the same thing again and again and again. When we have the Two of Swords here, this is a repetitive energy. It's like an energy where the person is just doing the same exact thing all the time, and it's not necessarily getting them different results. So I would really encourage them, if this resonates, to take some time to do something completely different. It can be going on a trip, it can be taking a nice walk, it can just be, I don't know, maybe spending some time going to a place that you've never been before. Whatever it is, I feel like they need to get out of this pattern. So that's one thing that's coming through. One thing I can say for them, though, in terms of traits and habits, is this person is deeply thoughtful and even philosophical. So we have the Swan here, and the biggest thing I think of when I look at this card is somebody who is so smart in how they think about things. Like, when you talk to this person, I feel like you're talking to someone who just knows so much about everything. They are kind of like a walking dictionary in many ways. And I'm getting that they're very reflective, and it's not always about themselves. It's more like they reflect on certain situations or things. So for example, they might find a topic that really fascinates them, and I feel like they can spend hours researching it, and they want to research it until they become an expert. So one of their traits or habits would also be not just spending a lot of time at their desk, but spending a lot of time researching. And I see this both in reading and in computers. So they might actually sit down and spend a lot of time reading like really philosophical or research heavy books. And I'm also getting an energy of thrift stores. So I feel like they might be the type of person who likes to explore kind of old bookstores or thrift stores or places where the books have been handed down. And I'm just getting they really value like the old minds, like philosophers like Plato and that kind of thing, Aristotle. I just feel like they spend a lot of time focused on the teachings of these types of people. For just a couple of you out there, I also do get more of a religious energy. So it might be like they want to really dive into the core teachings of Hinduism, or they really resonate with like a certain discipline or practice and they want to trace it back all the way back to its origins, and they want to make sure that they understand that intimately. So I do get a very philosophical energy, and I think that's something that you will absolutely love about them, because again, it's hard to find people that are this philosophical and this well practiced and read. I do think that they have a bit of an energy of competition or distancing themselves from other people. So this is kind of a habit in that I feel like they don't necessarily have the widest circle of friends, and they do it almost on purpose. Like, they believe that the people that they keep close to them are people that should be very loyal, that they'll have in their life for a very long time, and are lifelong friends. But here I'm getting an energy of distancing, and I'm saying this partly because of the Ace of Wands and the Moth. If you look at both of these cards, there's an energy of shadows. There's an energy of, it's not like a lot of light. It's not a lot of closeness here. I feel like they do operate from a sense of independence and solitude, and they're very confident about their independence. So I think that's actually a good thing. And I'm seeing that they stand tall. They're confident, they are forthright, they're not embarrassed about this, they're not anxious about being independent. And so I think you will be attracted to this, but I wouldn't also be surprised if at times you're like, hey, I just want you to be a little bit more social, like, can't we go out with my friends? So I wouldn't expect that of them, you know, like, they are a very nice person when you talk to them, but it just feels like they like having their personal space, they like having their distance, they like having time to think, and they need time to really percolate on all of their thoughts and really sink into all of the different things that they're studying and learning about. So I get an energy of, yeah, not wanting to have too many people too close, because very honestly, I think they find it overwhelming to have a wider group of friends. It kind of feels like that takes something away from their energy. And like the Moth here, your future spouse is kind of fragile. I'm getting some of them have had a history of either dealing with an illness, dealing with anxiety, depression, maybe didn't have the best time in high school or college. And so I think there's just remnants of that energy that kind of hangs around with them sometimes. And it's really important for them not to sink into that too much. And one of the ways that they protect their energy is selectively choosing who to hang out with and making sure that they're only surrounding themselves with people who bring light into their life, not people who bring competition. But one thing I will say is naturally I do find them to be kind of competitive because they want to achieve these big dreams and goals. So when they get into an energy of disappointment, I think it's because they are competitive. Either they were brought up to be kind of competitive, like to get really good grades, or they might have played sports when they were in high school or college. Or yeah, they were just brought up to be like the best or the top of their class. And I'm getting that that kind of energy has stayed with them, and they might channel it in a different way. Like they might decide to go against the structure they were brought up in and be more of an entrepreneur or an innovator. But I'm just getting that they do have a bit of an energy of competition. I'm just gonna pull some last cards here. So we have the Energy Oracle deck. And let's see what cards come through for their habits. I knew I was going to pull this card. I don't know why, I just did. So that's the third chakra. And then we have woman holding a coin. And then we have goddess of the moon. Okay. So, in terms of their traits and habits, okay, so here the third chakra, this would be the solar plexus chakra, which is responsible for your relationship to yourself. Again, I get a very independent energy. I get someone who is developing themselves through teaching and learning. I'm getting a lot of numbers, a lot of data, a lot of research, a lot of reading. So traits and habits wise, this person is really into collecting information, storing information. And I feel for a lot of them, it's reflected in their careers, be it an analytical career or even a research career, a detective type of career. I'm just getting that they have to categorize a lot of information, that's very important. I see them seeking out very minute details and understanding how those minute details fit into the bigger picture. And I see that being an exciting and intellectually stimulating process for them. And so with the solar plexus chakra here, I do get an energy of just really wanting to cement their relationship with themselves and be alone more than being with a group of people. Like they would rather be a lone wolf than hang out with people that they don't really resonate and vibe with. So the good thing about this is that they are selective of their friends, and I feel like they have really good friends, people that really love and respect them and people that are very helpful to them. And then I guess the bad thing about this is if you do tend to be more of a social person, you might find it hard that they tend to like to be alone or to stay inside and work so much. So you might have to help shift them out of that energy at times. So here we have woman holding a coin, and this is kind of a funny message. So definitely I do get a female influence. I think for many of you watching this video, this is you. Whenever I see this card, I think that it tends to be a message that the female or the feminine energy in the relationship is the one who sets the boundaries and who leads. But I do also think that this is just an energy of investment. This is an energy of caring a lot about money and, you know, building and creating wealth and a fortune. So I feel like one of the traits or habits that your future spouse has is a very big focus on money. Like I said, they might have a mindset where it's like, oh, I don't feel like I'm making a lot of money at this time, or they always feel like they're behind or something like that. But they are investing a lot. They are focused on their future, and I do think this is a literal investment. I would so not be surprised if your future spouse was somebody who invested a lot in Bitcoin or looked into new cryptocurrencies or even was into trading or stocks and shares and bonds and all of that kind of stuff. I get an energy that they're very focused on stability and focused on amassing wealth. And then lastly here, we have the goddess of the moon. What I'm going to say is there is a softer side to them. There is a side that comes alive at night. There is a side that also comes alive during meditation. I don't feel that they're meditating as much as they should be, to be perfectly honest, but I do get a night owl kind of vibe. So even if they have to go to sleep early because of their work schedule, I'm gonna say they would much more prefer to be able to work late at night or to veg out late at night. I'm getting that they like the nighttime and that this is a very exciting time for them. And I'm getting that the nighttime is when they feel most inspired too. So they might have a lot of thoughts about their future business, for example, or their creative passions and hobbies when it is late at night. So like after 9 p.m., 10 p.m. So I definitely get that they resonate a lot with, yeah, just the nighttime generally. And then the other thing I'm getting is I do get a lot of energy around water. I'm getting drawn to Cancer as a horoscope, and especially with the swan here, I feel like there's a lot of water energy in these cards. So yeah, their sun sign or their moon or rising might be a water sign. I hope that this reading gave you some clarity and guidance. It was my first time doing a reading like this, so hopefully it gave you some clues of things to look out for. If you liked it, please give me a big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, share it if you feel so inclined. You can always book a personal reading with me. One note is that my Wizio readings are closed until August 1st, so just check back then, and I will see you all in the next video. Have a great day. Bye! Alright, pile 2, welcome to your reading. So if you chose the red Carnelian, then this reading is for you. And your first card is the Ten of Cups. So that's awesome. So we're going to ask a little bit more about your future spouse's traits and habits and see what comes through here. Okay, I'm getting messages already, so I'm just going to start with these 4, and we will pull more if needed. The first thing I'm going to say is, for some reason I'm getting a huge vibe of India. I'm seeing an Indian wedding, Indian marriage, somebody who's very social, someone who has a wide network of friends. And I was getting that pretty strong with the first card, but the second card came out and it was like even stronger. So if you are looking for an Indian spouse, if you resonate with India, if you feel connected to India in any way, then I definitely think that that would be in your future and that this person would either be from there or will have spent a significant amount of time in that part of the world. The first card that we have here is Harmony, which is the Ten of Cups. And so instantly when I look at this card and I think about traits and hobbies and habits, I really feel like this person is a very smiley person. I'm getting a very happy energy about them. I feel like one of their biggest hobbies or habits is spending time with the people they love. And I'm getting a wide circle of friends, people they've been friends with across many different countries, across many different schools. I feel like they come from a very good family. We have the Ace of Pentacles here, so there's an energy of wealth. I feel like their family has given them the best education you could possibly ever imagine. And so one thing to look out for is I feel like this person is studious by nature, but over time they've kind of peeled back from being studious and they're focusing more on their social life. So I do get an energy of parties, but it's not necessarily like going out and drinking all the time. It's more just that they are always connecting with people. They're always spending time with other people. They really prioritize their friends. They prioritize those relationships. I'm getting something about business school as well. I feel like a lot of them have pursued business school and really care about building out their network and just value having really smart friends from all over the world. And there's something very fun about that. I think only for some of them, not all of them, so only for some of them, I do get an energy that I would describe as being a little bit more out there, a little bit more adventurous. And I feel like that might even show up in their clothing choices. So especially with this energy of the Ace of Pentacles, I do think that they dress fairly well. And I think that their clothing choices might be something that serve as a good clue for you, because they might invest in either very expensive clothes, like designer clothes that have embroidery, embellishments, logos, stuff like that, or it would just be that they don't mind spending a lot of money on quality items. So it could be like they shop a lot at an expensive athletic store. They invest in their clothing. They care about how they look. They care about how they present themselves to the world. Also, this is very specific. Another habit I'm getting is that they gel their hair. They don't necessarily gel like the whole head and they don't necessarily do it every single day, but I do think that some of them really want their hair to look clean. And so they would keep their hair back from the face and they would always make sure that it never looks messy. It always looks clean. And I'm getting that the way that they wear their hair really shapes their face, and it also defines their chin, their jawbone, their cheekbones generally. It really shapes their face nicely. So I know that's very random, but that's just what I happen to be getting right now. So we also have the Two of Pentacles here, which this deck says is an energy of change. I do think that this person almost has two sides, not in a bad way, but in a way where they have their social side and their side that they only really show to you and extremely close friends. I get that they have almost kind of like a social personality where they're just so good at carrying conversations. They're always smiling, they're always enthusiastic, they're always able to come up with the next thing to say, the next topic to talk about. Very easy person to get along with. But I think that in kind of quiet or more intimate spaces, they do have more of a quiet personality as well. This would not be something that people see. This would be when they spend time at home by themselves, reading. I'm seeing that a lot of them are reading articles about like the economy, the market, like especially as it relates to new products. I feel like some of them are in product development or are even in I do see like wealth management and like portfolio management for a lot of them too. And some of them are also looking at careers like being a doctor, being a lawyer, that kind of thing. So yeah, the foundation that they got from their family is really paying off here. And the education that they got is also really paying off because they do spend time investing in themselves, reading a lot, but it's more like reading on their phone. I don't see them reading books that much. Maybe once in a while, but I feel like they've gotten out of the habit of reading books and they're spending a lot of time on their phone. And I'm getting most of them have iPhones, but I know that's not that helpful because so many people have iPhones today anyways. I do see this person having a very innovative mindset. I feel like they're naturally good at solving problems. They might even like to play those little games on your phone where it's like Candy Crush or problems where it does involve like a little bit of critical thinking, like those brain games and stuff. I don't see them doing it all the time, but I wouldn't be surprised if they like do the crossword just while they're on the bus or while they're in a taxi or commuting or whatnot. I feel like they care about keeping their mind very sharp. And yeah, the number one thing I'm going to say is social. Social, social, social. They're a very social person. Let's see what other cards come through for them. There's also something about the shoes they wear. I feel, again, a lot of them are investing in very nice shoes, very nice clothes, definitely getting an energy of like leather shoes, shoes that make them look really good, shoes that come across as very professional, also expensive shoes. So, look out for those. I guess that's the only advice I can say regarding that. So here we have the second chakra. This is the sacral chakra. This chakra is associated with physicality, with pleasure, with working out, with any kind of physical energy. So because they are so well kept, this person, one of their habits is working out. I do see a lot of them going to the gym and doing kind of similar routines. So alternating between working on their upper body, their lower body. Like I feel like they actually have a workout plan. One thing I will say is I don't see them varying the exercises a lot. Like I feel like they have 5 to 7 core exercises that they cycle through. But I feel like they have really strong leg muscles. I know that's kind of random, but it feels like they have good upper leg muscles and then good shoulders. So these would be like 2 areas of their body that they actually work on. And I see this person as being very fit. So really being passionate about working out, passionate about being social. They know that they are seen all the time. They're always in spaces where they have to be social. So naturally, it makes sense that they invest in this. I'm also seeing journey here. So this makes sense to me because especially if they have gone to school in a lot of different countries, because I'm seeing a lot of them have not just done high school or college per se, but they've done following degrees, like they have done their master's degree or their MBA, and maybe even they have multiple degrees as well. I'm getting a huge energy of travel and being friends with people from all over the world. I feel like you could name almost any country in the world and this person would know someone from that country. They are very cultured. They are very good at dealing with people from other places. They love learning about different cultures. They love just expanding their mind in that way. And I get that they're very open to going on journeys, going on trips, traveling. They can even be quite spontaneous sometimes in that way. So we also have the 4th chakra here, which is the heart chakra. This makes sense because this person not only has a wide network, but I do see them being a very sensitive, kind, caring person. I feel like they are the type of person who's very good about sending texts to their friends and saying, hey, I've been thinking about you, how are you? So they never truly lose contact with people, and they would only lose contact with somebody if that person was not reciprocating and wasn't putting in the same amount of effort. But I feel like one of their traits or habits is reaching out to their friends proactively and really trying to maintain a relationship with people that they care about a lot. And I think that a lot of them, it's not necessarily that they buy gifts for their friends, but I think they invest in helping their friends and invest in showing their friends a good time. So I am seeing things like wanting to buy their friends dinner, wanting to buy their friends drinks. So this is a very giving person. Like, this is not someone who's tight with their money, because I'm getting a lot of them grew up with money or have at least amassed enough money where they don't have anxiety connected to it. So they're very giving, they have a very nice personality. And then here we also have rest and rejuvenation. So the funny thing about this card is I do think that they try to prioritize rest, but what I'm going to say is my intuition is going a little bit against this card. I feel like they are quite social and their calendar is fairly busy, so they're always kind of moving from one thing to the next. Most of these things being social events, social engagements, things where they're having constant conversations with other people. But I feel like the reason this card has come up is to show one, this is a good example of a very fit person. I'm getting drawn to athleticism again, so it's not necessarily that these people are currently playing a sport, but I just feel like they have a set routine when it comes to exercise and working out, and this is something that they prioritize and that they really make time for almost every day, at least 4 or 5 times a week, I would say. So they might look somewhat like this person in the sense that this person is quite fit. And I think that the other thing I would say is I think a lot of them have grown up with very spiritual mothers. So I don't know exactly how that connects to a trait or a habit, but I think that they have a lot of space in their heart for their mothers. They might be like a mama's boy if they're a guy. And I feel like their mother is very spiritual and has impressed a lot upon them, especially as connected to like their astrological chart or just reading into their signs very deeply. I feel like they really have a good relationship with their family generally, but especially the mother. That comes across pretty strong. So yeah, I just get that this person is going to treat you very well. I see that they already treat their friends really well, so I expect they're going to treat you even better. I'm getting that, again, you know, a lot of comforting things coming from them, like they love either buying gifts or buying like nice dinners and stuff like that. And so I think they're going to extend all of that comfort and compassion towards you as well. So they're a really nice person. I like their energy and vibe a lot. These are all the messages I'm getting right now, so I hope that this reading helped you. I hope it gave you some clarity and guidance. If you like it, please give me a big thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button, share it if you feel so inclined. Turn on your post notifications so you don't miss another reading from me. And I am taking a pause on my Wizio readings until August 1st, which is not too far away. I will see you all very soon in the next video. So have a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye. All right, pile 3, welcome to your reading. So your first card is here. Let's see what you got. This is the Queen of Wands, which this deck says is about vibrancy. So this is the first card for your future spouse's traits and habits. I'm also getting some stuff about hobbies in doing the other piles, so we'll see if we get anything about their hobbies as well. This is the universe here, which is the world. Here we have the moon. We have the Princess of Swords, which is curiosity. And then here we have the Six of Wands, which is success. So let's start with these cards, and then we can always pull more cards if we need to. The first thing I'm getting about this person is I think they're a little bit quieter. I don't think they're the loudest person in the room. To me, it feels like they have a lot of thoughts going on in their mind at all times. I'm getting some of them actually have too many thoughts, like they might suffer from ADHD or they might have racing thoughts, but that definitely does not apply to everybody. It only applies to maybe a handful of people who are watching this reading. And again, I'm talking about your future spouse here. I do feel that this person is very reflective. It's like all of the emotions that they feel are very deep and are coming from a deep spiritual place within them. I'm getting an energy of Scorpio, also somebody who's a writer, who's an artist. I don't think it necessarily manifests in art for all of your future spouses, but I think for many of them it does, because I get a very beautiful energy around somebody who can channel all of the emotions they feel into their artwork or into some kind of talent or product. And even if they're not actively producing art right now, the one word I would use to describe this person is creative. They're very, very, very creative in terms of how they think. In terms of traits and habits, so the one thing I'm getting is I feel like this person does not want to be constrained to society's expectations of them. So we have the Queen of Wands here. We also have the Princess of Swords. This energy, I'm getting that they tend to be fairly open-minded, future-focused in a way, but then with the Princess of Swords here, they can be very exacting at the same time. And so what I'm getting in terms of habits is I feel like they might have a habit where someone like gives them a project or a briefing, and if they feel constricted at all, I do think that they push back and they're like, why do we have to do it that way? We don't have to do it that way. There's a million other ways we could do this, and here's why. So I do feel like they have pretty sound logic, and they're not just going to do things for the sake of doing them the same way that society has always done them, so to speak. I feel like they really care about doing things well, doing things the right way. If they're going to spend time on something, they want to do it well. They don't want to just do it. So I also feel like this person is kind of mysterious, and I think that's something that fascinates you about them. I'm getting that when you meet them, you have a good read on their personality, so you connect with them more naturally than other people, but I'm getting a very mysterious vibe. Like, again, it's kind of like a Scorpio vibe where other people don't really know how to read them, and they're always feeling kind of distant to other people. So if you look at this woman here, this is the Six of Wands, which is success. She is beautiful and just amazing and vibrant, but you don't really get the sense like you understand her personality that deeply. She's kind of standing a little bit further away, and it's almost like you want to reach out and grasp her, but you don't know exactly what would happen if you did. So of course I'm speaking kind of metaphorically, but I just get the sense that this person is pretty mysterious. They have many layers, many, many levels. They go really deep. And so when we see the world, this person would be very wise. I feel this person has spent a lot of time learning about different cultures, different practices, theories. Again, I get a huge energy around creativity. They might have studied art history. They might have studied some kind of art theory, psychology, maybe philosophy, something kind of like that. And I'm getting that they just want to take in everything so then they can make the best decision for their lives. And I do feel like this person creates really beautiful content, whether that is in the form of a blog post or a book or something like that, but I get a very wise, kind of old soul type of vibe from them, and I feel like a lot of them have had many past lives. And I think they know that too. I'm also getting an energy of Europe, so I don't think that they're necessarily from Europe, but they might have spent extended period of time in a certain country in Europe. For example, what I'm being shown right now as a symbol is Spain. For some reason, your spirit guides are showing me the, what is that thing when you like go and watch the bulls in Spain? Yeah, they're showing me that, so I don't know why. But anyways, I think that they've spent a lot of time exploring the mysteries of the universe too. I feel like a lot of them are into conspiracy theories, or what are called conspiracy theories, UFOs, yeah, understanding extraterrestrials, that kind of stuff. Like they might spend time researching it, or they might be inherently fascinated by that type of content. Again, I said this before for a different pile actually, but I'm getting this huge energy around night. Night as being inspiring to them, especially if they write music. I feel night is when they come alive. I feel like this person is not getting enough sleep though. Like they might only sleep 2 to 4 hours a night, and so I highly advise them to sleep more. If you are in contact with them already, definitely advise them to sleep at least 6 hours if possible, because I think that they have this tendency to stay up late, and that can kind of contribute to some of the racing thoughts some of them are having. Um, and then it just kind of contributes to them having a lot of thoughts. But it's not applying to everyone. It's only a few specific people. Everything that this person does is bound to be beautiful because they have this amazing voice, they have an amazing expression. I feel like with traits and habits, they're spending a lot of time channeling what is inside of them and trying to make it comprehensible to the outside world. Like it feels like they are so deep, they are so complicated, they are so mysterious that they almost need to spend time translating their thoughts to the general public or to the people around them. And I know it's going to sound kind of weird, but I feel like their mentality is that they're up here and they're operating on a really high level, and they just feel like the rest of society is like all the way down here, kind of living like zombies. So I do get a little bit of frustration attached to that, and I feel like they think of other people as being kind of ignorant sometimes because they just haven't taken the time to explore the mysteries of the universe and the things that are not taught to you in school, for example. Basically, this person is a very wide scale thinker, but they also like to go very deep into certain topics. And they have this amazing ability to create very impactful and inspirational content, or artwork or whatever it is. And then the other thing I would say is I think some of these people are just hugely appreciated by their community. So it's funny because it doesn't actually feel like they have tons of friends to be hanging out with because they kind of distance themselves on purpose. But I feel like, let's say they publish a poem or a song or something like that, I think they have like a big following, some of them. Some of them, I wouldn't be surprised if they're like a famous songwriter or something like that, because I'm getting that they have a big following, they have people who really appreciate them. This is not the case for all of them yet, but I actually think that if they continue producing their art or their music or whatever it is that they're doing that speaks to other people, I think they will grow this following over time and it will become really popular. So I'm just getting people really appreciate them, they appreciate their words, and they resonate with their words really deeply. So even though your future spouse feels solitary and feels kind of like only they can understand the emotions, they know that part of their higher purpose is to translate those emotions into some kind of end product or song or whatnot. And then by doing that, the words they use and the images they make and create really resonate with other people. So definitely huge energy of success here. I feel like your future spouse is going to make tons of money. This person is definitely going to grow to be somewhat famous. Doesn't mean that they have to be the next like Katy Perry or Bono, but I feel like they are quite famous and they definitely grow a following, especially on social media. And I keep also getting shown SoundCloud. So SoundCloud or Instagram or something like that, they have a following. They have people that really love and care for them. Let's pull 2 more cards here from the Animal Spirits deck. We have the Sea Serpent. And we have the Frog. Cool. So I'm actually going to start with the frog. When I look at the frog here and I think about this person's kind of personality and traits and habits, so they do have a tendency to go within. They have a tendency to, kind of like a frog does, either hide under a leaf or hide in the ground. Some frogs even bury themselves in the ground. But they're very sensitive creatures. Your future spouse is very sensitive, very empathic, very intuitive if they want to be. I'm getting some of them shield themselves so that they're not as intuitive all the time because it's just too much for them. It's just so many details at once. And like I said, they already have a lot of thoughts going through their mind. I'm also getting that, like a frog, they make huge leaps and bounds when it comes to their creative talents and hobbies. So I'm also getting an energy of film for some of them, but these people are the types of people where they just have so many ideas. It's almost like they have too many ideas. They can't contain all of them. And as a way to get some of them out, they'll just instantly channel that energy into a product or a project. And then before you know it, they're publishing a new song or they've come out with a new movie or something like that. So just like a frog leaps from square one to square two, it feels like this person makes huge leaps in terms of their creativity. And this is something they do often. Now, just as regularly though, it kind of feels like they might be so creative that at times they go through these like creative dry spells, or they have to try to heal their energy and make themselves a little bit more stagnant again so that they have time to really recharge. So they might go through a period of crazy creativity and come out with so much stuff and be so seen by their community, and then they might just as quickly withdraw, because I'm getting an energy here of sea serpent. They're kind of withdrawing, going back on what they were doing before. This is a circular energy, you know, going back to the source, going back inside, being very quiet, not letting anybody in. If you were to imagine there are other creatures in this ocean, it's like, no, they're creating this safe space for themselves. So I feel like your future spouse definitely knows when it's time for them to go back to their own inner source and their own inner healing and build that back up before they start to share all their ideas and creativity with their community again. The last thing I'm going to say about this person in terms of traits and habits is I feel like a lot of them do wear darker clothes, and a lot of them have like longer hair. A lot of them have like shaggy hair or hair that's like just in front of their eyes, kind of like this lady actually. She's a good symbol for how they might wear their hair. You can see one of her eyes is kind of hidden, so it wouldn't be all the time necessarily, and it doesn't hold for all people who are watching this, but I am getting that that would be a identifying factor for many of them. So I hope that this reading helped you. I hope it gave you some clarity and guidance. This was a fun one, so hopefully it was fun to watch as well. If you liked it, please give me a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, share it if you feel so inclined. Also, don't forget to turn on your post notifications so you don't miss another video from me. And if you would like a personal reading, I am taking them starting again on August 1st. You can still book on my Schedulicity during this time. I'm just going to be limiting the amount of hours that I do until August 1st. And I will see you all very soon. So have a great day, and thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye. All right, pile 4, welcome to your reading. So let's see what card you got. This is the Queen of Cups, which is all about intuition. So let's see what your future spouse's traits and habits are. And I'm just going to shuffle some cards here and see what comes through. Here we got Temperance. We have the King of Pentacles here, which is the Power card, according to this deck. Wow, and we also have the King of Wands, which is leadership. So let's pull a couple energy oracle cards as well. Okay, we have Storm Warning. We have Financial Constraints. So those two seem to be maybe together. And we have Indecision. Okay, so let's start with these. So I'm going to read these two, they're kind of like quadrants, but I'm going to read these two sections separately because I feel like this is about their personality, their traits, their habits, their hobbies, that kind of stuff. And then I feel like this is actually a situation that they're dealing with at this current moment that's coming through. So I'm going to address that in just a second. Okay, I'm getting the vibe that this person is a very nice person. I feel like they want to be very giving. I feel like they have people in their life that they truly care about, and they want to spend a lot of time always giving, always supporting other people. That said, I don't think everything has been super easy for them. I think sometimes they overextend themselves or they want to help more than they can. I feel like one of their habits is saying, yeah, sure, I can do that. And then it turns out that it takes way more time than they expected. And so they kind of overextend and overcommit themselves sometimes. I'm getting that they have aspirations to be a really big leader figure, somebody who is helpful to others, somebody who guides and supports others, and that comes from a pure place. Like they have a really pure heart, but I'm just getting that they take on so much, sometimes they end up unwillingly burning themselves out. This person has, as I said, a very open heart. It's almost like intuition, but I do get a little bit of an energy of uncertainty. So I feel like one thing that they're going to be focused on, especially over the next couple of years, is really growing in their leadership skills. Because they know deep down, especially as I look at the King of Pentacles here, that they want to be a leader. They want to change the world. They want to help a group of people. But I think that they're struggling with feelings of imposter syndrome and feelings like they're putting themselves out there, but only because they think that they're meant to in order to succeed, if that makes sense. So again, they are overcommitting themselves at times, and that can create some hard situations for them, which I think we'll get into in just a second over here. But I do get that, again, this comes from a very pure place. And so I do think that they appreciate a lot of different ways of thinking. When you talk to this person, I get the sense that they really listen. I feel like they're the type of person who tries to be a good coach, a good mentor, a good guide. I feel like with the Queen of Cups here, not only do they really try to get into their intuition, but I feel like they practice true active listening skills. They would actually, cock their head when they're listening and really try and tune in to what the other person is saying, try to pick up on specific tones that the person is using, and try and understand what is it that they're saying with their words and what is it that they're saying with their body and with their tone. So I feel like this person is a very good listener. They really want to get to the core of an issue or the core of what people around them are experiencing. We also have Temperance here, and so the other energy I'm getting is that this person is a peacemaker. I feel like with habits, they're the type of person where if their team is in a conflict or they're fighting, they would come in the middle and say, hey, no person here is 100% right. Like neither one of us is going to be right. Let's just make sure that we all listen to each other and we all see each other's side and point of view, and then we can find the best path forward. So I feel like they are a mediator, a peacemaker, a coach, a guide, a mentor. That's the type of energy that comes to them naturally, and that's the type of space that they want to be in as well in order to help develop people. So there's kind of the coaching side to them, and then there's also a side to them which is more of like the high-level strategic leadership. So this feels like one-on-one in small groups, and this feels like they have aspirations to actually go really big and be a significant leader. This could be like leading a line of business, or it could be giving talks. They definitely have an energy of wanting to expand, wanting to take what's inside their heart and really have an influence on a wide group of people. Whereas their first two cards are a lot more feminine and light, even in coloring, their second two cards are a lot darker and more serious and more masculine energies. And so I kind of feel like they're going through a bit of a shift where this is what comes most naturally to them, very honestly, and they're trying to become more like these two fellows over here who seem pretty serious. If you look at their expressions, it's not like they're smiling, they're not full of joy, but they're very strategic. They are really thinking about the next move, the next step. And they're also a little bit more distant too. They have an energy of kingdom and being regal, so it doesn't feel like they're as accessible. And so again, I am getting aspirations to be like the lead of a department, a CEO, someone who is growing in that leadership journey. So I feel like your future spouse is trying to level up in that way quite dramatically. I do get that there's challenges along the way. So one of them is they are feeling at times like they have to go against their own inner nature, which is to be healing and to be kind and to be happy all the time. But they know that they're going to deal with a lot of different personalities during their career. And in order to just have a stake in the game, they feel like they do have to be a little bit more serious at times. Now, I'm not going to say an opinion on whether or not that's true, but I do feel like they put pressure on themselves to be a little bit more like this and a little bit less like this sometimes. So when you come into their lives, whether it's happened yet or not, I feel like you can help them find the happy medium and help them ground in their intuition, but also be a really powerful and inspiring leader who motivates people, and therefore you kind of bring the two together. So let's look at this situation in a little bit more detail. Okay, one thing that I'm getting is, again, this person wants to be on a big scale. Like they want to be a leader, they want to be popular in some way, and it's not popularity for the sake of popularity or for the role. It is more like the impact that they want to make, that they really care about. But I think that because they overcommit themselves, they have a tendency to even do that with things like signing up for courses or spending money on things and then not thinking very carefully about what that actually means for their resources. This is not something I think is going to be the case forever. I actually think this is a very specific situation which applies to maybe not even everyone's spouses who are watching this, but I'm getting financial constraints here. So perhaps they either invested in something that was too expensive for them. This could also relate to school, by the way. So some of them may have loans and debt that they still need to pay off. Or the other thing I'm getting is that they really want to take a course or to level up in some way, but because of financial constraints, they're not able to do it yet. Storm warning to me is more about anxiety than it is about like a fight or something that's going to happen. I feel like they are experiencing some anxiety as it relates to their finances right now, and that is manifesting in a lot of indecision. And then the other thing about this card, which I think is very significant, is you can see there are actually two different paths here. And that's really a perfect depiction of what's happening here too, because we have this intuitive path, which is a lot more kind of soft energy. And then we have this leadership path, which in this reading in particular happens to be a lot more about strategic and high level and distant energy. And so I think they are kind of still in the middle and they're trying to understand, do I really have to take one path or the other? Is it true that there's no way to merge the two of these? And so they're standing and they're looking and they're wondering which way to go, and they're kind of a little fearful because they feel like if they take this way, they can't turn back and go this way again. And there is some truth to that in the sense that if they're making career decisions based on these two paths, for example, it is going to be hard to go back. But of course, there's a middle ground. Of course, there is a way that will merge both of these. And I actually feel like you, who's watching this reading, is going to be a very important role in helping them realize that and in helping them merge those two paths together. So that's kind of what they're going through right now. Let's just pull a couple more cards just about their general personality, any traits, hobbies, clues that you can look out for. We have the deer. And we have the peacock. Okay, so I don't know what it is. I feel like the same patterns are coming up again and again in this reading. So when I look at the deer energy, I'm seeing somebody who is a healer, who is a sensitive soul, very sweet-natured, very poetic by nature, somebody who is soft and kind and gentle, just a very gentle energy. And I feel like this is their innermost personality. Deers are animals that are easy to shock. Like, they're so fragile in some ways. They're very visible, but at the same time, they don't always love to be seen. And they're very fast about retreating to wherever their hiding spot is or wherever their safe haven is. And so when I see deer, I'm really resonating with the first two cards in this reading here. And I'm feeling like this is your future spouse's innermost personality, this intuitive, sensitive, kind person. And I feel like they definitely are this person towards you, which is really nice. And then I feel they have the external personality they're working on growing, which is the peacock. And I get a lot of resistance when I tap into this energy because I feel like they know they need to be seen in order to achieve their dreams and goals, in order to be successful, whether that success is a promotion or simply giving a talk or creating their own business. But I'm getting a resistance, and I'm getting that right now it kind of feels to them like they're wearing a costume and like they're faking it till they make it. So you know how when the peacock wants to mate, it puts all of its feathers out and it's very beautiful and magical and all of that. And then 90% of the time, it's actually not doing all of that stuff and not doing its dance and not showing all of its feathers. So I feel like your future spouse is a little bit like that. Like whenever they have to give a talk or go to a meeting, they feel the need to put all their feathers out and to really be on display and show their best cards. But most of the time, they're actually pretty quiet and subdued. But I think that they will find a way to merge these two. And I do think that in the future, they will be making more money too, because I'm getting an energy around a promotion. So I think another thing is they're really nervous about not being at the level they want to be at yet. Clearly, they're so focused on leadership. They're so focused on the next level, but I keep getting something about promotion. So I feel like a lot of them will get promoted and will actually end up making more money. And then this situation and these woes are going to be resolved. So I think that they don't need to worry about the outcome. They simply need to understand how can they merge these two paths and how can they use that to the best of their ability, and not go too far this way and then lose all of these kind of sensitive, intuitive, and heartwarming gifts that they have over here too. These are the messages that I got for your pile today, and I hope that this reading was interesting for you. I hope it gave you clarity and guidance on maybe some clues to look out for as connected to your future spouse. If you liked it, I would really appreciate if you would give me a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, share it if you feel so inclined. You can also turn on your post notifications so you don't miss another reading from me. And if you would like to book a personal reading, I am opening them back up again on Wizio on August 1st. So thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. All right, take care. Bye.